Hey everyone, welcome to another good e-reader comparison video. I am the Sultan of e-readers, Michael.
And this is Peter.
We have the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch here and the 10.1-inch model. Now these aren't just Samsung tablets, but these are Samsung Galaxy Tab for Nooks. Peter, despite the fact this is a 7 and this is a giant 10.1-inch tablet, is there any difference with the hardware?
Let's look at them. Now note that Barnes & Noble had no say in the appearance of this device. It is strictly a Samsung device. So you have the logoing, multi-window buttons, back, home, front-facing camera. All the good stuff happens up top with the power button, volume up and down, micro SD, and all sorts of sensors and 3.5mm headphone jacks, speakers on the side, port on the bottom, and the back is a very nice tight plastic with a lot of grip to it. The 7-inch is once again a Samsung Galaxy Tab, same kind of features on the front, power and volume on the side, 3.5mm headphone jack up top, speaker on the back, port on the bottom, and cameras on both sides.
Okay, as you can see that the UI is a little bit different on the 10-inch model, mainly because you have a few additional Nook widgets. You have the Shop Now button, which is in portrait mode here, but in landscape mode it's just like a little square, and they both access the Nook ebook store. But then you also have a library widget here, which I've actually become a fan of. You can scroll and kind of get a sense of all the content that you've ever purchased from Barnes & Noble, whether it's an app, magazine, a newspaper, an ebook, or anything like that. Alternatively, you can click on the Nook library. And this is where the entire listing of all content that you've purchased resides. And it's neatly organized. So you have books, magazines, movies and TV, kids, catalogs, newspapers, and then you could create your own shelves. Any files that you load on here could appear, but then you could also make that disappear by just clicking on that. Kind of removes, it doesn't remove it entirely, but it sort of minimizes it. Barnes & Noble Nook Shop is basically your all-in-one destination to purchase a myriad of content. Books, magazines, everything else that you see here. Now, it's important to note that Barnes & Noble does not sell single-issue comics. They only sell graphic novels. If single-issue comics are important to you, I recommend to download an app from Google Play that specializes in comic books, such as Marvel Comics, Comixology, and a ton of others. The first page of the Nook Shop is mainly curated content. So this changes week to week, month to month, the types of apps that they put priorities on. New books on Nook, lists, things like that. I do like the way that their app store is laid out on a tablet. I think it's way better than what Kobo is doing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they put an emphasis on discovery. So when it comes to an ebook, by its very nature, you have a 2-column view. Now, when you're reading in landscape mode, there's actually no way to make it to eliminate the 2-column view. You're stuck there. Mm-hmm. But if once you're in portrait mode, you can actually read it like this.
Same on the
yeah, exactly. So both of these tablets, if you don't like reading in this mode, just flip it to like portrait mode, right, and you get this experience here. Overall, reading on both of these tablets is really solid. I find that just more text appears on the 10.1-inch edition, so you could read more without having to turn fewer pages, because as a 7-inch tablet, you're going to be actually flipping more pages all the time.
So if we tap the center of the screen, we can change the font size. We have the exact same layout here, but it's kind of displayed a little bit differently. Same amount of fonts, Georgia, line spacing, margins, styles of text. We'll go to full size just for a second. Everyone always asks us, what does it look to the maximum size. That's what it'll look like. You can pause that video. And we have different styles of screens. So we have brown, tans, stones, beiges, and just pretty much a wide variety. So this is what it's going to look like. Landscape, this is the portrait view. So we'll actually have to take a page turn in order to get the full view.
I'm actually thinking that these images look really nice.
They look really tasty too.
I mean, not only does it look yummy, but this page really shows off like the vibrant screens. Being able to show this many colors, and it looks great in my opinion.
So we'll do some page turns here. We'll go to an article like this, for example. We have something at the bottom called article view, and what this does is strip away all the images and just leaves you with an actual text-based article. From there you can go back to page view.
You can also increase like the size of the fonts and do everything. Basically with article view, you have the same type of control that you have over an ebook, but in article view in a magazine.
Very handy.
Yeah.
And pinch and zoom is pretty much the only way to adjust the image. You don't have any reflow or anything like that. So
I think pinching and zooming is enough. You know, I could read this, but if it looked too small, I could probably just increase like the size of the text in article view, but you can't increase the size of the magazine text without article view.
Right.
So that's important.
So we have just this page on this device. So what we can do is tap the middle, and this gives us a virtual kind of table of contents view. We can go to that page. Double tap doesn't initiate article view, so it won't go panel by panel.
Yeah, it doesn't have like the Comixology-esque like guided view that isolates a particular frame, which I find is a bit of a drawback. I find that Barnes & Noble has plenty of graphic novels that it sells in digital formats, but their actual like rendering engine that they use to display comic books really leaves something to be desired for it. There's veritably like no options in order to customize it.
So once again, 2 columns on here, 1 on here because it's portrait. So you have a cool page turn animation. You can do pinch and zoom. That kind of fills the whole screen. This is pinch and zoom again. It maxes out though, as you can see. So we have something very cool here called article view, and you can select the article and start reading. So this will just strip away all the images, all the hard to read font 4 text, and well, it gives you a header image, which is really cool. And then from there you get all of the functionality you would in an ebook, but in an actual newspaper article.
So this is a way that we're going to actually demonstrate the sound as well. This is a Cars book for free that Disney Pixar gave.
And had a shiny lightning bolt on his side.
So you can tell that the book is interactive. You can spin his tires and all that kind of stuff. As you can see, it's only really designed for landscape. So we'll just do a sound test. We won't spend too much time on this.
He was flashy red and had a shiny lightning bolt on his side.
He just went through a whole set of tires.
He's gonna have to replace those if he has a good pit crew.
Yeah. So this is a cool way to either have the narrator read along, or you can turn off the sound and just have your child read, and
Yeah, the sound effects are maintained, but you're not having like the book narrated to you.
Exactly.
At the beginning here, read by myself, read and play, or you could actually read and record. Google makes it easy for developers to be able to like submit apps and everything like that. So this is probably what I'm going to recommend as your #1 destination to get content. Not necessarily like movies and music and books and things like that, although you can get that all through Google, but the apps and games I think are the most prevalent. But one of the drawbacks on Barnes & Noble's App Store is that they don't have any apps that compete with them. So you're not going to find like the Kindle app or Comixology or Moon Plus Reader. You're not going to have any type of apps that compete with them, whereas Google, they specialize in just having as many apps as humanly possible on there. So final verdict. What do you think about these two tablets, and would you recommend one over the other?
I would say if you need more screen real estate, it's a no-brainer, go with the bigger device. But I would say, and this holds true for both of these, unless you need the Nook services, like you have had nothing but Nook tablets in the past and you want to synchronize all your content, there's no reason to get the Nook versions of these devices. You'd be the exact same, you'd have the exact same usability out of the regular Samsung tablets. So note that these are the 4 Nook devices because they have Nook management systems in
you have
place.
like the packaging,
right? So unless, once again, you need Nook services, you absolutely have to have them. There's no point in having these devices.
Yeah, I mean, I wish either of these had any type of Nook branding on it. You know, just remove the Samsung branding, just put Nook, you know, so people know that they're using a Nook tablet. Because what's to stop people from like buying something from Barnes & Noble and trying to like return it to like, you know, Best Buy or something like that. You know, suffice to say, I mean, these are the 2 Nook tablets that are currently for sale. We've showed you everything in terms of what they can do. They both have Android KitKat on them, so they have a fairly modern version of Android. We'd like to hear your thoughts. You heard ours. Drop a comment below, and if you have any ideas for future videos regarding either of these 2 tablets, kindly let us know. And for a comparison on the Samsung Galaxy Tab for Nook 7-inch and 10.1-inch model, my name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Everybody take care.